Good morning again, and welcome to the Moment of Truth, organized by the Center for Character and Leadership Development, CCLD, right here in Abuja, Nigeria. It's a pleasure to be with you again today and discuss something we've been considering for a while now: inside out leadership. We have said that leadership is really from inside you to outside. Leadership is not something you do from outside inside, but it has to come from within you and express itself without you. So everything outside your life, everything in the material world are actually corresponding impacts and outcomes of what goes in within you. And we've talked about several issues regarding this. We've talked about issues that has to do with things within you. And the first one we looked at was the concept of attitude, that your attitude is one of the most important world. It is a world you lived in within you. It is an encompassing statement that holds your values, your beliefs, and your paradigms, and every other thing that determine how you live, what you do, and every result that you get is a sum total of everything. And we also looked at some friends and some enemies, in quotes, that are always interacting with you and you are interacting with them. And we say you should concentrate on your friends and to use and overcome your enemies, in quotes. And some of those friends, we're not talking about people, we're actually talking about emotions, thinking processes, and so on. It's not really people that we're calling friends or enemies. We're calling your attitude, your behavior, your beliefs, your values as supposedly friends or enemies. The positive ones, we call them friends. The negative ones, we call them your enemies because they are working against your success and growth in life. Today, we are going to look at another aspect of inside out leadership, and we call it personal development. It's a tremendously crucial issue for us to discuss, as every human being needs to understand the importance of personal development. If you would want to contact CCLD for any of your programs related to leadership, personal development, communication and public speaking, business innovation and growth, or you just want to communicate effectively or know how to overcome depression, loneliness, and any other thing that is disturbing you, please feel free to call the number scrolling on your screen, 08034665348, or send an email to us on ccld75@yahoo.com. I'll be glad to get back to you. So this morning we want to look at personal development. What does it mean? And we're going to look at it in two separate forms. So we're going to do part one today, and we're going to conclude on it next week. I don't want to miss any of them. And we will look at the three critical areas of your life that requires your own development. And you alone can really develop those critical areas by yourself. So it's going to be an interesting discussion this morning. So sit back and relax and let's take the ride together. Now, one way that helps me understand what concepts could mean is to look at them individually on one hand and then try to join them together to understand what they could be telling me. So the concept of personal development, let's try to understand what that concept means on its own first, and then see how we can go about developing ourselves personally. So the first word there is personal. You know, the word means it's you, it's an individual thing. It's not a collective thing. It's not societal thing. It's not somebody else's responsibility. It is personal. Personal means you and only you. Personal means you have 100% responsibility in taking care of yourself. It depends on you. It doesn't depend on the government, doesn't depend on other people, doesn't depend on your parent, your uncle, your brother, your sister. It doesn't depend on anything. That's why they call it personal development. You and you alone have to do it. We're living in a society where it is easy to blame somebody else for how your life is going. But we're now going to look at what do you do with yourself, by yourself, to yourself? How do you take absolute responsibility over your own life? We're not talking about you doing everything within your power by yourself. It is a personal thing. It's not societal thing. It's not something that have to come from another person, that have to come from outside, that have to come from any other place. We're talking about you. What are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do with your own opportunities? What are you going to do with your chances? What are you going to do with your purpose? What are you going to do with the potentials that you already have? So it is a personal thing. So you have to sit down on your own and make your own decision by yourself, for yourself. So personal development is not somebody, it's not like you are waiting for someone to encourage you, to move you, to inspire you, to motivate you. You have to inspire yourself. You have to motivate yourself. You have to do all these things for yourself. So personal development means an individual thing. I don't know why you were born. You don't know why I was born. I and God alone know why we're all here. So if you don't develop yourself or find yourself first by yourself, nobody will be able to do that for you, because really nobody really knows why you are here in the first instance. So personal development, the first word there means you, just you have to now wake up and say, yes, I have to do it. And we're also living in an environment where people give excuses why they cannot succeed, why their business is not going on. They say it will go, why the economy is bad, why this one is not working, why. No, instead of giving reasons why things are not going the way you are, I would like to encourage you to give 5 reasons why things should go the way you want it to go. Some people may have up to 10, 20 reasons why things are not going the way it is going. Rather, why don't you now sit down from today and find out just 5 reasons why things should go the way it should go in your own life? And you are the only person that must do that. Personal also means you cannot hand over the driver's seat of your own life to another person. You cannot hand over the control of your own life to another person. You cannot hand over critical decisions that affect your own life to another person. You cannot hand over a real serious choices to another person. You must enter your own driver's seat and drive that car called your life to the destination that you want it to do. And you must make up your mind to do it very deliberately, very decisively, and very persistently until you get to your destination. You must not come out from that driver's seat. The person you are handing over the direction and the control of your life to might not even have an idea of why you were born and where you ought to go. He might not know. Life is a personal thing. Life is an individual thing. You must take responsibility over your life. So that's the first part of personal development. It is you that must choose. It is you that must choose where to go, what to do, how to live, how to feel, when to feel. Everything is in your hands. So if any other influence is coming to your life, if it does not align with what you have decided on your own to get done in your life, you know it's simply a distraction and you get done with it. So the first thing is personal. Please remember it is your personal responsibility, 100% responsibility to move your life the way you want it to go. Nobody will do that for you, and don't even allow anybody do that for you. The second word is development, a critical word and very important word too. So what is development? What I looked at what development could be, I discovered development is an unfoldment. It's not really adding something to something, adding something external to something. Is actually unfolding what is already inside that particular thing. So the concept of development is opening up, unwrapping what has been wrapped, what has been covered, is actually unveiling of something that has been covered. For instance, you see, if you pick a seed of mango, okay, every fruit that mango will bear is already inside that seed. Every leaf it will spring up is already inside that seed. The root, the stem, the branches are all inside that mango seed. But you see, everything in that mango seed, all you need to do is find a conducive environment to bury that mango seed and nurture it. And then the mango seed begins to unveil, begins to unfold, begins to expand, begin to reveal every leaf, every stem, every fruit that it already has. So when we're talking about development, we're not talking about somebody empowering you. No, we're not talking about somebody giving you money for you to go and do a business, to go and do. No, that has its own place. But development in its real sense is talking about you unveiling what is already inside of you. Every human being was born with infinite potentiality. They are all within him or her. And you now have to unveil those potentiality in whatever form, in whatever style, in whatever method. It's Miles Monroe that will always say he has promised himself that he will not die with his potentialities buried inside of him. And he said the graveyard is the richest place on earth because right there you find songs that were never written or sung, you find books that were never written, you found fantastic poems that were never written, you find inventions that were never brought to light. And the people die with those skills, with those potentialities buried inside them. They were born in obscurity and they die in obscurity. Please don't let that be you. You have within you infinite potentiality that is awaiting to be unveiled. That is the whole concept of development. And once you make up your mind to unveil your skill, it might not mean so much to everybody, but it sure will mean so much to you. In her book, the last words of the dying, the author said that one regret every dying person usually have is not doing what they knew they should do while alive. Sometimes some people get employed and they're afraid to leave their salary work and get into the purpose for which they were born that is burning inside of them. There is an inspiration that is burning inside of them, but they are scared. What will I do? It's like going into the unknown. And so they stay where they collect salary until they retire. And when they're about to die, one regret they have is, why didn't I dare it? Why didn't I attempt it? Why didn't I move? When that urge was coming strong and vigorous, why didn't I move? I had opportunities to explore. I have opportunity to unveil. Some people would, I'm always trying. I hope to always write a book. Today is the day for you to start. Do you want to write a song? Start today. Do you want to write a book? Start today. Do you want to learn about poem? Start today. Is there a skill you should learn? Start today, because you are filled with potentiality. And when you don't build those potentiality, they turn out to become a problem to you. So personal development, if you join the two words together, is actually you and I unveiling our purpose, unveiling our potentiality, unveiling the reason why we're born for the benefit of humanity. That's my own definition and understanding of personal development. It is the unveiling, it is the unfolding of your potentiality, is unfolding of your purpose, the reason why you were born. It is the unfoldment of your powers, of your inward powers and capabilities for the benefit of humanity, for the benefit of people around you, for the benefit of the whole world. So personal development to me is a critical issue that everyone should get involved in. Everyone was born with a gift. Everyone was born with something to give to humanity. Don't die. Don't let your own be buried inside you on the day you are dead. Unveil it and start today. Now, there are critical areas of our lives that we first of all need to understand, because the question that arises immediately we talk about personal development is, what exactly do you develop? I mean, why develop them? What are the critical things that are within us that we need to develop? And we're going to look at three broad areas, and they're really broad because under them are so much to talk about, but we're going to look at them broadly and see how we could understand when we talk about personal development. Again, please, personal development doesn't have much to do with somebody empowering you, giving you money to start business, giving you opportunity to learn a particular skill or that. We will still come to that, but primarily, fundamentally, personal development is the unfoldment of the things you already have within you. Those things that you have within you that you need to develop that will help you achieve every other thing that you are looking for in your life. Now, those three critical areas that we want to look at, number one is your mind. Is your mind. One thing about your mind is you cannot do without it. It is the center of life. You must learn how to develop your mind. And we'll look at it in three different ways. The other thing to develop is your emotions. You must learn how to develop your emotions. And the final thing you must learn to develop is your will. These three areas of your life are so critical. They are so fundamental that you cannot play with them. You cannot allow them slip off your hand. He who does not develop his mind, does not develop his or her emotions, and does not develop his or her will find life become very miserable. The question life is always asking everybody is, what can I do for you? How can I help you? But to respond positively, to respond correctly to this request by life is by developing these three critical aspects of your life: your mind, your emotions, as well as your will. You have to learn how to develop them. Now, in developing your mind, we'll look at three things you need to do. The first thing you need to do to develop your mind properly is your thinking processes. You know, there's a difference between thinking and thoughts, just like there's a difference between planning and a plan. A plan we're talking about now is, how do you think? How do you analyze issues? How do you ruminate over issues? How do you see life? How do you arrive at a conclusion? How do you arrive at a particular belief? How do you arrive at a value? How did you come to that place where you know this is it? You know, you need to understand thinking process. You know, we're living in an environment where most things are negative. So 95% of people, their thinking process is negative. Oh, they are always in the negative. They rarely come to the positive. So your thinking processes must be right if you must develop yourself to a point. You cannot grow beyond the things that you know. You cannot grow beyond your knowledge. You cannot grow beyond your understanding, and you cannot grow beyond the level of wisdom that you have, which is the applied understanding that you have gathered. So your thinking process is the first thing you must develop within your mind. You must think right if you must act right and if you must achieve the right result. Your thinking process is so crucial. You have to understand how to think. And then because your thinking affects your thoughts affect your beliefs, your beliefs affect your life. So the first aspect of your mind you must develop is your thinking process. The second aspect of your mind that you must definitely develop is your imagination. Imagination is the creative organ of your mind. It's the one you use to form the mental picture on which your life will unfold. It is your imagination that have the picture of your life, that have the picture of your future, that have the picture of everything that you do, everything that you want. Please learn how to improve your imagination. Know the power of your imagination and know how to use them. It is so critical. It is so powerful. We don't have time to really discuss deep into the influence the imagination has over our lives. Everything that we do in life is based on the power of our imagination. When imagination is in conflict with the will, imagination will always win because it's more attached to emotions. Imagination attached to emotion, attached to creative ability of your mind. That is where it is because the pictures you have within you are the pictures of that affect how your life unfolds. So you need to learn how to improve your imagination. And the third thing you need to improve with respect to your mind is your memory. Especially men are very bad in this. I mean, a man could see someone, and 5 minutes after you ask him, who did you see? He may not even remember the name, may not remember the face, may not remember the clothes the person wear. But women are better in this area. And there's another challenge too. People say you lose your memory with age. That's not really true. From research, it has been proven that you lose the capacity of your memory for lack of use, not by age. We've seen people who are very old and yet still very intelligent and able to recollect so many things. So you must improve the capacity of your memory. Your memory is so powerful. You need to learn how to develop your memory. You must learn how to remember people's names. People's names are so crucial. In fact, it's the sweetest music they can ever listen to. So learn how to remember names of people. When somebody tells you his or her name, repeat the name and see whether you can spell it or pronounce it correctly. And then after that, try to remember the person's name and then attach the person's name to the person's face. Remember faces too, especially men. I mean, don't just look at somebody as a thing and then remove your. Be involved, be very intentional in remembering faces with names. I tell you, it will help you. I remember when I was doing my youth service, I made up my mind that I'm going to know everybody's name in my platoon. And I made frantic effort to achieve that. And I actually did. So it's an exercise you can start and accomplish. You can tell yourself you memorize the whole names on your phone book. You could start from there. One every day. You could get there to memorize all the names on your phone book. And from today, when you see someone, try to connect their names with their faces and see if you see that person again, whether you remember the person's name and faces. It will intrigue you how the person will react. Oh, you can remember my name. Oh, you remember my face. It is a very good thing for you to develop. So in developing your mind, please remember you have to develop your thinking process that have to do with knowledge, acquisition of knowledge. You must learn, you must observe, you must know, you must know. You don't have excuse why you cannot know. You must develop your thinking processes. You must develop your power of your imagination. Imagination is so powerful. And then you must develop your memory. You already have these things within you, but it is your responsibility to develop them. They are the things that will bring you to fame, they will bring you to success, they will bring you to advancement. Now, after developing your mind, let's go swiftly to developing your emotions. Emotions are so crucial. They are powerful. They are wonderful capacity that you have within you. So you must develop your emotions. A lot of people have negative emotions like anger, fear, loneliness, temperament, and so on. People are so afraid, people feel guilty, people are so easily provoked. So these emotions are not good for you. Your emotions has to be positive. They are so powerful. Emotions, I would say, is the guiding principle of every action. Learn to control your emotions. Learn to deal with your emotions. If you're depressed now, if you are always easily provoked, you get angry so soon, so easily, please, you need help. You need someone to help you deal with your emotions. Are you going through stress right now? Those are negative emotions. There are over 5,000 different types of emotions. You must learn how to manage your emotions. And my advice here is endeavor to keep your emotion positive at all times. There are three very powerful emotions, positive emotions that you must constantly develop. And that's the emotion of love, the emotion of faith or belief, the emotion of hope or expectation. Make this emotion intense, make them deep, make them consistent in your life. Make sure you always expect the best about your life, the best about your situation. It has a way of making you healthier. It releases a positive hormone in your body. When your expectation is positive and it is intense and consistent, it provokes healing in your body. I tell you, emotions affect health directly. For instance, if you think about someone who has offended you so deeply and so badly, instantly you feel somehow within you. You feel unhealthy. Consequently, if you think about someone who has been very kind and loving to you, someone so dear to your heart, you feel happy, you feel elated. So emotions affect your health directly. Wouldn't it be wise for you to build your health positively than destroying it with negative emotions? Please be guided. Your emotions are very powerful. Make sure you deal with them, you develop them. Remember, we're talking about personal development. It is only you that can control your anger. Nobody can make you angry except yourself. So you must choose to control your anger. You must choose to control your emotions. They are very critical. We've talked about two areas, critical areas of your life that you need to develop consciously. One, we've talked about your mind. You need to develop your mind. And the three ways to develop your mind is you must control your thinking process, you must build your imaginations as well as your memory. And we've also looked at the second area, which is emotions. And we'll say your emotion has to be consistent. Don't be happy and then the next moment you are sad. Don't be angry the next moment you are calm. No, make your emotions, positive emotion, consistent. Make them intense. Make them very intense and then increase its power. Once your emotions are positive, once they are consistent, and once they're intense and they're in the positive domain, they make you healthy, they make you better, they make you smarter. Your emotions is actually what makes your face to grow, to expand, and is the best method to remove wrinkles from your face. I tell you, it is true. Try it. We'll go straight to the last one that talks about your will. And your will is actually responsible with your choices. You are 100% responsible for your choices, but you are not responsible for the corresponding consequences. You do the choosing, life does the implementation. So it's a cause and effect thing. Your will decides, your will chooses, your will is the one that says, I will or I will not. Your will is, I won't or I will. It is your will. And the will is one of the most powerful instruments you have within you that you need to develop. There was someone who said that nothing can stop a will that is determined to stake even existence for its accomplishment of its goals. Once the will says, I will, and it is backed up by all intensity and power, nothing, not even the universe, can stop the will from executing its order. It was the will is so powerful, it's so important, it's so crucial in personal development. These are the components that you have within you that will help you unveil yourself to the world. Without developing this internal component, the external component become very ineffective. That's why you see people after being trained on anything, they come back to their states because their mind, their emotions, and their will have not been aligned together to see themselves succeed. Now, these three aspects of your life must not be developed as if they stand alone. No, the three of them must come together as one. The three of them must agree as one. The three of them must move together as one. It must be like the ant, as though they are going out for battle. When you see the ant going out, all of them move in their own courses. They don't break. They don't think about any other thing. They don't do any other thing that move to where they are going. So the three of them, so you can imagine your imaginations, your emotions, your will, all align as a single entity towards the realization of your goal. I tell you, that goal will obviously be realized. I can give you 99.999% guarantee that you would achieve the goal. So the three of them must be aligned together. It's not that you develop the mind on one hand and then the emotions on the other hand. No, you must learn how to integrate the three of them as one entity. As your mind decides on what you want to do, assuming, for instance, you want to start your own business, that's what your mind has come up with. That is the thoughts that have come up from the series of your thinking processes. You want to start your own business. Your emotions must be aligned with that business. You must see that business. You must feel that business with the greatest intensity. You must feel it consistently every day. You must embrace it. It's very terrible. We have so many people working where they don't love. It's like a pain within them. And so it is difficult for them to put in their best. It's difficult for them to do everything they have within them to achieve their goals. So that is not the best way to live. You must align your emotions with your work. You and your emotions and your work must be one. And then your will must be aligned and it must be so intense. Someone said that you must do it without giving any mental recognition to the possibility of defeat. To you, life is just splendid. Life is beautiful. And you feel that beauty within you with the greatest intensity. You can imagine expecting 500 million from somewhere, and it's so real. And the next thing you see, everything, your smiles are all over your faces, and somebody will be wondering, what is wrong with you? He said, boy, I'm expecting something beautiful. That is how to live. That's how to move. That is the power of personal development. It must tell on your action. It must tell on your demeanor. Everything about you must be provoked to move with what you are looking for in life. Please and please don't live passively in life. Don't be passive. Be active. Be outspoken. Be out there. Unveil yourself. The world wants to see you. The world wants to know you. The world wants to hear you. So bring it out and let everybody appreciate what they will see. So that's what we're looking at today on personal development. Personal development, like I said, is not really adding something to you. You already have what all you need within you. Your mind, you have it already. Your emotions, you have them already. And then your will are already within you. And these are the three critical components of personal development. These are the things you need to build and develop. It was a pleasure again meeting you today. Please, if you have comment, if you have something to add, you have a question, we will be glad to respond to them. Thank you so much, Seven Joy. It's been a long time. Happy New Year. Thank you for your comment. It's a great talk. It's a pleasure knowing that you are listening to us. Thank you so much. So please, today we're looking at part one of personal development. And we said that its foundation is already within you. We're looking at inside out leadership. These are the things you already have that needs to come out. You need to use them as tools to achieving your goal. So it's a pleasure again having you join us. We look forward to seeing you next week. Please, again, if you have questions, we want to get in touch with Center for Character and Leadership Development, you can call the number 080-3466-5348 or send an email to ccld75@yahoo.com. And we'll be so glad to get back to you and respond to any question you have. And if you want to deal with your life, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling lonely, life is not the way you planned it to be, and you feel everything you touch your hand to do seems to fail, please get in touch with us and we'll get back to you. All right, Seven Joy, awesome. Yeah. Okay, how is Ibadan? It's been an interesting time, long time. I hope Ibadan is as beautiful as Abuja and calm too. Thank you so much for being there. Please, we're looking forward to hearing from you. Glad to know that you are always there. Thank you for those calls that have been coming. We look forward to meeting you one of these days. Thank you so much and have a very pleasant weekend and a very pleasant day. So we look forward to next week again, same time by 11 a.m. when we'll come your way again with another segment of the program, The Moment of Truth. Thank you again for being there and have a very wonderful day. Bye for now.